Howdy guys, I want to talk a little bit about backup guns, carry guns, carrying multiple guns, and interchangeability. Got in a conversation yesterday with a guy who we started talking guns and turned into show and tell, what do you carry, which happens from time to time. First thing I'd like to say is this gentleman obviously knew what he was doing. He obviously knew what he was carrying. He wasn't a amateur as far as that. Well, we started to get into, I don't want to call it an argument because it wasn't like we were fighting, but his answer as to what he carried was, and he carried the Smith M&P, which is fine. I have nothing against the M&P. It's a great weapon system. But for his backup gun, he was carrying a Smith Bodyguard, 5-shot 38, and that's where the argument kind of came in. And like I said, it really wasn't an argument because it wasn't like we were having at it over it. It was an intelligent discussion. So anyway, this is kind of why my mindset on carrying Glocks. Pick a caliber, and we all know my opinions on the different calibers, but I really honestly don't care what caliber you carry. It's your life, it's your gun. Carry 22 if that's what you can afford. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it sure beats a rock in a gunfight. Now, here we have the 9mm line of Glocks, or most of them. There's also a longer frame, but we're not really talking about those big guns. This is a Glock 17. This is Old Faithful. If you've watched any of my videos, you know about Old Faithful. My Glock 19 carry gun. Carry this every day of my life, whether it is on my hip or in a couple different rigs. This is the gun. And when I feel the need to carry a backup, the baby Glock. And here's why. A couple different reasons why you should consider one type of weapon system. None of these guns are loaded right now. No, not that I'm not capable of working with loaded guns, but we're going to move the slides back and forth. The primary reason that I carry, or I like to carry, and I like to train people to carry one type of weapon system is this. From the front of the trigger guard back, and from the bottom of the trigger guard up, the guns are identical. Whether we're talking about the 17, whether we're talking about the 19, or whether we're talking about the 26. So there's no learning curve. You don't have to learn a different trigger pull. You don't have to learn, where the controls are on any given weapon system. It's all the same. They operate the same, they work the same, and the beauty of carrying multiple weapon systems of the same type, meaning Glock, Smith, whatever you're going to carry, and the same caliber, is then you get into, with most of them, and I know Smith is this way, and I believe Springfield is, and I guarantee you Glock is the interchangeability of magazines. We have a Glock 17, has a factory 17 round magazine. Wonderful. When I carry spare magazines, this is all I carry. Glock 17 magazines. Doesn't matter what gun I'm carrying. If I've got this in, some kind of rig like this, carry Glock 17 magazines because got a Glock 17. Move on to the Glock 19. I carry the Glock 19, which has a factory 15 round magazine, flush fit. I carry Glock 17 magazines for backups. They fit just fine. Stick out a little bit, but if you're onto your second magazine, you don't care. We're not caring about hideability. We're not caring about what it looks like. We don't care about anything about how many bullets we can put out the end of that barrel. So having 17 rounds, 2 more bullets, 2 more bullets. Same goes for the Glock 26. The factory flush fit, which this isn't, it's got a +2 extender on it. The flush fit literally runs right there. Flush fit. Factory 10 rounds, put a +2 on it, you get 2 rounds. If I needed to, I could take the magazine out of my 19 and run in that gun. Now I have and it'll cycle just fine. I'll run a couple through here. It'll cycle just fine. It'll run bullets out of that magazine just fine. The same applies for the Glock 17 magazine. And I know some of you are going, I knew this. It's shocking how many people don't. So now I can take my Glock 17 magazine, run up there. It actually gives you a little bit more of a makeshift grip in a gunfight. Now I've got something bigger and meatier to hold on to. Is it perfect? No. Is it handy? Yeah. So if I'm I've already expelled 10 rounds out of this weapon system, and I'm needing to do a mag change, I've got some serious problems. Now I got a little bit more of something to get hold of for a gunfight. And it's even translates all the way up. If you really wanted to, the 33 round magazine will go down through the entire line as well. I know people in their get home bags or bug out bags that, their backup magazines are in fact the 33 round magazines. And these fit and function just fine. So picking a type of weapon system and a caliber and then go with it. Some people buying guns is just what I said earlier. It's all about show and tell. They never truly intend to use it, but they intend to show everybody that will look at it that they have it. And whatever, it's your world. Another nice thing about the interchangeability is when you start buying accessories. Here is my light that runs on, I'll try not to blind you with it. My light that I run on my Glock 17 in this holster will also run on my Glock 19. Sticks out a little further, but remember when I said they're all the same from here back, and from here up? It still runs just fine on that gun. Will not hinder the operation in any way. Sticks out a little further because it's a little bit shorter gun. But anyway, just a quick little mindset change. I know, and there's been times in my life I've carried as a backup one of those little Kel-Tecs. I've carried a Ruger 357 5-shot revolver, and them little backup guns, I've called them better than nothing guns in different videos. Those little 380s, they're fine for a backup. You work your problem. If that's what you have, that's what you have. But if you haven't started purchasing backup guns yet, and like I said, there's some people get the mindset, well, they want this type of this gun, this type, and this type, and this type, and it's all about types of guns for them and how many different types of guns they can get. And if that's the world you live in, more power to you. I'm not telling you that I'm not going to tell anybody they're stupid or they need change or whatever. But if you haven't been out and purchased a backup gun yet, or you're thinking about it or whatever, really consider sticking with the makes that you already have. If you're already running a Glock, you might want to consider sticking with Glock for the interchangeability factors. If you're already running a Smith M&P mid-frame, you might want to think about the subcompact frame for your backup gun. these little backups, and it's going to vary from make to make, and I'm not going to tell you I know all the answers to all those. You know, with this little gun, it runs in an ankle holster just fine. It is smaller width-wise than a revolver, just like any of the Glock 9mm are. And people say, well, no, the back of the frame's only ½ inch wide. Yeah, it is, but then you got that cylinder that's this big. So, yeah, this is skinnier. These run in an ankle holster just fine. They work running inside the waistband just fine. I have been known to carry this in a left-handed draw inside the waistband with my primary on my right side. So, you know, in Oklahoma, you are completely 100% legal to carry multiple weapon systems at one time, multiple guns. I don't know about the other states. I don't know, excuse me, I don't know that there's any state that you're not. You need to check your local laws before you start carrying two guns. If you're in New York, you can't carry any of these guns because they all have more than 7 bullets in them. If I was in New York, I would start looking for hand cannons. If I lived in New York and was going to stay in New York, I mean, I'd be looking at 50 Action Express Desert Eagles or just big cannons. For not the usability reason, just honestly to piss somebody off. That's just me. Anyway, 500 Smith & Wesson. There you go. Put a little bit of thought into your carry guns. You know, sticking with a model or a make, I'm sorry, of gun, and then having the zero learning curve when you pull this out, the interchangeability of being able to put the larger magazines in the smaller guns. You know, this is fightable. Right there, you can fight with that. That not having that pinky grip on there, that you can truly, that almost drives me nuts. But this is a backup. Something's went wrong. It's not your primary gun. You know, you've either lost your primary, it's broke, it was taken from you because, you know, you got jumped, you were running, diving for cover, you dropped, fell, lost your gun, it's dark, whatever. At least you're not, I mean, you can't win a gunfight if you don't have a gun. It's not possible. Well, I guess it is probably possible. Somebody will go, I know this guy that pulled out his pocket knife and charged him, and the odds are drastically against you. So, alright. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm Mac with Double Tap Shooting. Quick update on the holsters. We're getting closer. Going to start shipping some test models out to some of the YouTubers. Start to watch for that. Appreciate you guys watching, and have a good day.